What's up, you guys? This is Jimmy back with another video. And in this video today, if you saw the title and the thumbnail, you already know we're discussing Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat overall, man. And before this video starts, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate you so. But the Miami Heat are really like, if I could use really one word to really describe them, it would be like an anomaly, because the Heat over the last few years have had success as a team. And despite them not going out and really acquiring, star players, they really did bet on their talent that they did have on this franchise. And luckily enough, they were able to make 2 finals appearances. Forget the year in the bubble with the Lakers. That was a really interesting series. It won 6 games. And Jimmy, I can remember him being extremely tired, having to do everything to help his team win. And then, of course, when they made it to play the Denver Nuggets, just about 2 years ago, really now, which really isn't that long ago. And if you remember, Tyler Hero didn't really play at all in the entire playoffs since game 1, I believe, of 2023 during that time when they did play the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals. And I feel like the big story back then, when the Heat even made it that far without him, was really like, what if they get Tyler Hero back? What if they can really run it back and see what they can do? But the reality is they haven't really done anything since making it to the finals then. Last year to a Celtics team who finally figured out, after finally learning from their mistakes, and they go on to win the NBA championship. And the Heat, they this year now especially have currently a 19-17 record, and they're really not making any noise. Now look, when I looked at this Miami Heat team, what they've been able to do over the course of their franchise's history is pretty remarkable, and what Pat Riley's been able to do for this Heat franchise. I mean, of course, they got LeBron to come to Miami, and years down the line, they get Jimmy Butler. But the reality is that the Miami Heat have kind of really failed to add key players to this team to really help them compete further into the playoffs and actually win an NBA championship. Like, they've been able to get the best out of many great key role players over the years for their teams, which is a really good thing, but surrounding them still with a possible all-star player. They have opportunities to get guys like Damian Lillard, who wanted to go there, Kevin Durant of the world. They just had the opportunity to get many star players to come to Miami, but they did not want to trade away any of their young core pieces. And I get it, during that time, that Tyler Hero, especially coming up when that Heat team was making that run their first time, especially to the finals when they played the Lakers, he was seen during that time as a really potential franchise level player. Luckily enough, this year he's finally figuring some things out, but his reputation and himself alone is just kind of ruined. He's really going under the radar this year for his play and how much better he has really improved this season. Really, just think about, if Pat Riley really decided to trade away Tyler Hero during these times and really get back a guy that could really help you win a championship now, especially considering the fact that Jimmy Butler was already an older NBA player and really wanted to win an NBA championship. He did. And now, looking at where things are really going for this Miami Heat team now, with Jimmy Butler still being that guy on this franchise, the reality is now what Jimmy really wants more than ever is money. He wants to get paid. And we all know that Jimmy is suspended now currently for the Miami Heat for saying some of the things he said. But the reality is that the relationship between these guys now is never really going to be the same after this point on, especially having him suspended. If they really want to trade this guy, they're going to have to really figure out something soon. And we all know that the team that is the number 1 team that Jimmy Butler wants to go to is the Phoenix Suns. And the reason why is what I said earlier, because Jimmy wants to get paid, and he wants, around a 2-3 year deal worth over $100+ million. The only team that is willing to do that is the Phoenix Suns. But the reality is, of course, it's even more complicated because you have a guy like Bradley Beal, who is like the only other player other than LeBron to have a no trade clause, meaning that he can decide that if he doesn't want to go to this team or not. Makes it even more complicated. And Bradley Beal, he's already now settled in being on this Phoenix Suns team and franchise. Even though he just got benched, he's settled in with his family, and he's making a heck of a lot of money. Really, I feel like, if the Heat want to get a deal done for a guy like Jimmy Butler, there's only really a handful of teams, really not many teams that are going to be really willing to want to take on that kind of money. Like, even if he goes to a team like the Phoenix Suns, yeah, the fit and all that will be good and they could potentially do something. But still, with these new CBA and all the rules now intact, it's going to really be hard for them to really still win an NBA championship with a big three, because as you all know today, big threes are not what is key in today's NBA in winning an NBA championship. You need key role players. You need your 2-star players on the team. You need a really solid depth in order to win. And if we look at the Miami Heat, for most of Jimmy's time there, they have been able to do that. They have been able to acquire some pretty good role players, or even create role players, literally, because as you all know, they're really good at drafting and really building up great players in the NBA. But the Heat have just really failed to acquire star talent around Jimmy Butler, so because you can't really win with him being your best player, in my opinion. The key was for this team really was for Bam. He is technically the best player on the team, but it was for Tyler Hero especially to ascend so that these guys can compete and win NBA championships. But that plan really didn't turn out in what it should have been. Granted, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo are still young, but Jimmy Butler and their window is just really not on the same time page. I know that Jimmy wants the money, but I'm pretty sure as well he still would love to win an NBA championship. But the reality is that the window for him is closing. He's 35 years old now, and no team really wants to pay a guy max money at his age because it's just way too much of a risk. And look, as far as him possibly winning, competing for a championship, maybe he can go to a more developmental team like the San Antonio Spurs, or even a younger team. The Houston Rockets is another example because, well, the Rockets are really young. They're trying to compete for an NBA championship, but we all know they want Kevin Durant, if we're being real. But I would say we have probably seen the last time ever Jimmy Butler wearing a Miami Heat uniform. Now, look, he may come back. You never know, but I don't really see that happening. You know, I've read articles, even heard Draymond Green said that, you know, there was already talks about possibly Jimmy leaving the team. He obviously saw it coming because there were rumors for a while that they weren't really liking each other. Speaking of Jimmy and the Heat, for a while now, it's kind of getting annoying. We will just see what really happens, man. But I think there's a lot to really blame for this going the way it is. I think Pat Riley has to take the blame in a way that they kind of failed to really surround Jimmy and his Heat team with even more talent to compete and win an NBA championship. Not only that, but you look at the development of their star players. I think Tyler Hero, he's kind of a late bloomer. He's now kind of really figuring out everything. And Bam, you know, he's been a solid player, but you still need another guy that could have really ascended this team. And if they would have traded away a guy like Tyler Hero maybe earlier for a guy who was already a more established star, maybe that could have gave them a chance, but we'll never know that now. Everything that's just going on now is just really just a mess for this Heat team, but we shall see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.